Hi there, it's Katie the Crafty Crab. Today I am doing a video to show you my process for a mixed media style wedding card. So apologies, but I'm doing a voiceover for this because it was easy to do as I wasn't very well at the time of filming. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm using some of my Once Upon a Time fairy tale themed card, which was from a 12 by 12 sheet. I chose this card as the base because it just had script saying Once Upon a Time, a prince and a princess and that kind of theme, which I thought was apt for a wedding card. So for this colour scheme, I've actually chosen lots of kind of neutrals, creams, whites, the usual kind of colour in a classic wedding card. And this is for a young couple. So I wanted something quite classy, but also romantic and 3D. So I was quite keen on using elements from Craftbox that I subscribe to, and just making it quite mixed media and 3D based. So the glues I use and the adhesives throughout this project are, I think, a mixture of sticky back tape, double-sided sticky tape, glossy accents, and I think some Kalau glue as well. I find that sticking a base with a card onto a card is great for double-sided sticky tape. And here I'm actually just trimming the excess. Unfortunately, I do trim a little bit too much, so I'll show at the end how I kind of rescued that, because for my own kind of perfectionism, I can handle a slightly little white gap of card that didn't meet. So for me, mixed media is all about layering and using different elements. So here I wanted to just have some kind of floral motif in the background. So I found a white doily and I'm just going to put that in the corner there. And then as I go through, I'm going to be layering up lots of different kind of ripped up bits of paper. So I'd already gone through my stash and selected the papers I wanted. They were all going to be kind of cream, neutral coloured base, but I also wanted something that would define each layer. So I think the bits of paper I've got, there's some music notes, there's some slightly floral pieces. So I'm going to build up the layers just to have a background, and it's really small strips, and I like tearing them because I think the raggedy edge gives it an extra bit of interest and texture. So this is where the fun bit starts. So now I'm going to start building up the elements and the 3D section. So the first thing I did when I was working out what I wanted to put on this card was find the central piece. So obviously for a wedding I wanted something very romantic, and I found this postcard of a young couple in a kind of vintage setting romantically kissing. So I ripped around to get the couple themselves and thought that that would be great to use as the main focal piece. So we're going to speed this up a little bit just so you can see quite quickly how it all builds up. So I have now the main focal element, and the other pieces I use, I think it was from Prima Rosabella paper or something similar. I find this heart that's been that I cut out of the paper piece, and I thought that just looked really rustic and fitted the setting. And then I went through my collection of mulberry flowers, and I picked whites and creams flowers that looked beautiful for a wedding card, but also there is one that has slightly pink, so I wanted to have something a bit different so that they all started to stand out from each other. So here you can see I'm slowly building it all up. So at the moment it's still quite flat, and this is where I find glossy accent glue is the best for sticking these things. I think because it dries as pretty much a little resin, I find it's the best thing for sticking 3D elements, unless you want to go to the effort of using a hot glue gun. So here I've got some pearl embellishments, I'm not quite sure what you call those, and here I'm adding all of the flowers. So what I have learned about creating mixed media cards or scrapbooking pages is that for me it's all about the different textures and different elements. So I don't know if you quite saw that, but I had these cream little acrylic kind of resin leaves, almost shaped like maple leaves, and so I'm just working out where they can go, and I just think those and things like pearls or half pearls or whatever, drusies, anything like that that adds some sparkle can also help make mixed media pieces pop. So I have those there. I've now also dug out other elements from my stash. So I have this glass heart-shaped cabochon, which I thought would stand out really nicely against the heart paper that I cut out. I have the sentiment, silver sentiment that just says live, love, laugh. And there's a little resin white rose there, and then I found these really cute gold oval sparkles with some glitter in, and I just thought that would also be nice around the flowers. So there I'm sticking them in, and they're also to hide some spaces, so it's just so that everything looks packed and full of interest. And then one of the last things I think that will set the card off is just to fill the middle section there with some half sticky pearls. So these are just standard bling or jewels that you can use, and I just had some pearls, so I wanted to put those in. Now normally I would want to spread them out, but actually as I clustered them around the bottom there, I just thought that it filled up some dead space, and it was just quite nice to add them as part of the wedding card feature. So one of the last things to do to finish off this card was to work out what sentiment I wanted to put on. I did think about congratulations or happy wedding day, or put the names of the bride and groom, but in the end I found this really cute stamp from May Made It, which has a variety of sentiments with the definitions like a dictionary, and there was this one that said love. So I stamped it out nice and clear, and then I just distressed the edges with my scissors, went around those with some distress ink just to give some colour. And as you can see in the background, there's another little bit of floral paper, which again I think is from the Prima Rosa Bella collection or something like that. And so I just used some double-sided sticky tape to do that, and then I'll use some foam just to make it stand out and pop. And again, I'm using the ripped technique just to add a bit of texture and interest. And I think with everything else, it just goes together, makes it look that kind of vintage look. As I pointed out at the beginning, I just missed a tiny bit of card when I cut this down. So as you can see, it did bother me quite a lot. So I ended up finding this really beautiful, pretty white washi tape speckled with a few gold polka dots. And all I do is go around that fine edge and stick that down so that to hide the little bit of card that I can see, add a bit of detail for the wedding card, and hopefully no one will ever know. And there you have it. Here is my final mixed media wedding card. I hope you've enjoyed watching. I really enjoyed making this. I hope the couple really like the card. I must admit, I like it so much, I kind of don't want to part with it. But there you go. That's my process for how I create mixed media cards. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.